Hey everyone, this is Villains Man, continuing session 22 of our D&D game, The Ancient Reborn. I'm your DM, JBD.
And I'm the Bearded Wonder with the Villains Demand playing Vesperr Noric, the Moon Elf Rogue.
Okay, Vesperr, give me a recap in your own words of the last session.
Alright, so last session, we were leaving, what was the name of that town?
Which one? The very first one you were at? That was destroyed?
No, the one that...
Parnast?
That were all the people, the guards and all that. Parnast? Okay, yeah. So we were at Parnast and they wanted us to leave because we were upsetting people with our stories of giants and dragons. So we went ahead and left, but we wanted to go to this castle that we had seen that had a powerful wizard that had chased off a metallic dragon. And so we left town and we were circling back around through the woods, and that's when we were overcome with ogres, and we all got tackled to the ground and captured. So
Beat unconscious.
beat unconscious, yeah.
Alright. So, when you were, when you went with Harshnag to the north, winter was starting to set in. It was cold. Now that you've moved south, it's warmed up some, you know, it's not as cold. But when you start to come to, it's cold again. And when you're just kind of groggy, you're opening your eyes and you realize that you're in a castle made of ice. It's kind of foggy around here, and you're just doing all you can to stay conscious, and you kind of look around and you see the others being dragged in front of you. Ogres got you, one by each arm. And as you're going, you'll see that a wall of ice, a doorway, like the ice slides open to the ogres, take one of them in. And then eventually this happens to you. And one of these ogres, they stand behind you and they hold your arms out like this. And ice shoots up from the floor and goes around your wrist, manacles you. Then it comes up your legs, almost to your knees, where it allows you just to bend and sit. And they leave you. Now, I know you're a rogue, and you would probably try to escape this, am I right? See, this is going to be a little bit different than everybody else's. So, if you are going to try to escape, you're stripped of your armor, you're stripped of your weapons. How are you going to try to get out of this? Your legs are bound in ice, your wrists are bound together, and your hands by ice. How are you going to try to escape?
Alright, so this is magical ice. I would assume it's not melting from
Yes,
body.
no, this place, it's almost like you're in a giant igloo.
Okay. Let's see here. How tight are they?
It's pretty tight.
Pretty tight.
Think of if you stuck your hand in water and you let the ice freeze around it.
Okay.
I mean, there's just enough room that if you were to sit, you would be like sitting up against a wall. There's nothing else in this room and you're by yourself.
I guess I would try to get my hands free first.
Alright. Now, how do you plan on doing this? Your hands are a ball of ice right now.
Oh, it's not just around here?
No, they're a ball of ice.
Okay.
That's what your hands are put together.
Okay.
Get out and swing around it.
Well, I guess that's not gonna work. I guess I'm just stuck then.
Well, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I know that you would try to break free.
Right. I was thinking about trying to dislocate a wrist or something and slip
Oh
down.
man, but have you ever tried anything like that? Is the question. Do you think in your 70 years, even with your maybe 5 years is whatever it was with Osborne,
Yeah.
that have you ever dislocated anything to try to break free?
Did Osborne teach me that?
Let's whip out some dice here. We'll give it let's just say 71 and up, Dave. No.
Okay, so I don't know anything about that, alright.
Master doesn't show all the tricks, otherwise he's never the master. So,
yeah, so. Yeah, I probably don't got much chance getting out of here, so.
I'm not gonna stop you, but there's a DC level right here, and I know exactly what it's on.
I mean, can I try to just tug on them?
Like try to pull your hands out of the ice?
Yeah.
What are you gonna put the ice up against to tug them off?
Oh, my feet are down.
You're bound up almost to your knees.
Is this connected to that?
No.
No.
You're able to sit down.
Sit down.
So like almost up to your knees, you're
like
trying
mash
to
it.
bust it. Oh man, you're gonna have to run me a strength check.
That's not my specialty.
Yeah. So it'll take a lot.
No.
What do you got?
That's a 6.
No, that's not gonna get you anywhere. You gotta just beat it up against the wall, on the floor, nothing.
Alright. Guess I'm just gonna sit here and wait.
So you're gonna just sit here, wait, take your time,
Hmm.
and just wait for whatever to happen happens.
Just wait for it to happen.
Alright, so you're sitting here what seems like hours because there's nothing in here. There's no windows. There's no way to tell if anybody's walking around. There's not even a way to tell if a guard is outside. But within time, two figures walk into the room. One of them you have come across, and it is a blue half dragon. You fought this in the Temple of Tiamat in like session 3. He wields a giant greatsword. And you all know you've seen him before too when he attacked Caravan with the dragons. He was the guy that was on top of the blue dragon. So you do recognize this guy. With him walks a black half dragon, where he is decked out in silver and gold armor, carrying Roland's mother's greatsword. She is decked out in robes of purple and gold. She carries a sword almost as tall as her, and its blade is ebon. You sit and you think about it, and you think about back in Nightstone when they said the fire giants came and they pulled out what they thought was a giant black blade. And when you look at this sword, this is the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
So, the female black dragon, you remember what her name was?
No, I didn't.
You don't remember at all? Okay. So,
Vesper's just been following. She's not.
yeah, I know. You got caught up in all of this.
Yeah.
So,
Her main concern is not the cult. She's just helping her friends.
okay, so, the black dragon, Resmir, this is her name. You've kind of heard Roland talk about her because this is the one that slit Roland's throat. The blue one, he's got this sword. He's just kind of looking you over. He said, last time you fought me very unfairly. He says, you took no honor in defeating me. It took 5 of you to beat me. Do you think you could beat me on your own?
Probably not.
He said, he laughs and he said, at least you're smarter than the others. Your friends were fools.
They can be foolish.
He said, I'll make you a wager. If you can beat me one-on-one, we will let you go free. And he's just straight looking you right in your eyes. He's very close to your face when he says this. He says, give you a suit of armor, give you a weapon of your choice, no magic, all skill. And I guarantee you I will put it on the Queen of Dragons' heads that you cannot defeat me one-on-one. But he cuts you off as you talk. But if you lose, you tell us everything. Your allies, where they're at, what you've been up to since you have destroyed the caravan. He said, now let me remind you, I'm not worried about what was on the caravan. I come got that myself.
I saw that.
He says, but
Very nice fashion.
if you can beat me, we will let you go free.
I'm just gonna be able to listen. Can I just be honest with you guys? My beef isn't with the Cult of the Dragon. I'm just helping my friends out here, so they'll help me out later.
He kind of looks towards Resimir like you caught him off guard. And he looks at her and she's like, she nods her head and he says, friends, he said, would friends allow you to be captured like this? Leave you in a cell by yourself?
To be fair, you guys sent a lot of ogres.
An unfair advantage, right? Did I just not talk about such a thing?
That's true. All's fair in love and war.
He said, are we at war?
They think we are.
Who is they?
My friends.
Your friends. He said, so you would count every person that was with you a friend?
I mean, I never really had any friends, so they're the closest I've ever known to a friend, but...
The Black Dragon, Resimir, she speaks up. He said, you wouldn't have to call one of them your lover, would you? And you can see that she's got this wicked smile on her face.
I'd be like, well, you know, I'm having a fling with one of them.
She kind of shakes her head.
She just follows me around, you know, and, you know, we like each other, but I don't know if you'd call it love, per se.
Are you lying?
At this point, no, because I don't know why she's done. Because I think she might have sold me out.
Well, but do you love her, though? You keep saying you do.
I mean, yeah, Vesperr does.
I mean, because if you're going to roll live, roll deception.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I'm not very good at these either. Where is that at? Deception. Yeah, so that's 11.
Okay. You can tell Cyanrath, he's like, And he kind of looks at Resimir and she shakes her head no. And you can tell, damn, she's on to me. He was almost buying it, but she wasn't buying it at all.
Okay.
So he was like, so tell me, would you ever leave this all behind? Just say figuratively, if you beat me, which would never happen.
I agree, it probably would never happen.
Said at least you're smarter than your friends. Especially that nasty paladin of Torm.
Yeah, he's a pretentious asshole sometimes.
Yes, he couldn't beat me once, and he couldn't beat me again.
Doesn't surprise me.
He says, but would you leave this all behind?
Yeah.
What would it take?
Listen, my beef is with the Zentarum, not you guys. They killed my family. I just want my revenge on the Zentarum.
They kind of look at each other. Look, do you speak Draconic?
No.
They have a conversation between them. And they keep looking over at you. And they look at each other. And you see the eyes open up and they both leave. Seems like they're gone forever. Like I said, just the nothingness of this place.
Right. Solitary.
Solitary makes it you seem like you're in here forever. But he comes back in as the ice parts, and you see Resimir, and she kind of just holds her hand out like she's stopping somebody. And she comes back in. And once again, she kind of stands back, and she lets him do the talking. Cyanrath asks you, So what is your problem with the Zentarium?
They killed my family.
He said, why?
Well, because my father ended up taking a loan from them, and he missed a couple payments, and then they killed my father, and I haven't seen my mother or brother since.
So it was over wealth.
Over well.
It's a petty thing.
Yeah.
He said, what would you do to have them back?
I would kill to have them back.
Would you? Would you kill your friends?
I don't want to kill my friends, no.
He said, so you take,
But aren't friends and family all we have in one?
he said, I have the Queen of Dragons. And that is all that matters.
It must be nice to have something to live for.
He said, honor something to live for. He said, but you, your friends, once the Queen rises, none of that will matter. He said, but if you were on our side, he said, you would have nothing to worry about. The Zentarium would be nothing. All would tremble before the Queen of Dragons. He said, we can give you that.
Well, my friends seem to think that if the Queen of Dragons comes back, that she'll destroy all of us.
All that don't swear featly to her. There's an word you've heard here recently. Guilty. He says, we will just be one of many under her army. An army that will rule all of Toril. He said, the Zentarium, they will be nothing. The giants will be nothing. Your friends cannot stop her. You will be in the presence of a god. And he says, and what is more powerful than a god? And he says that God can give you the power to destroy the Zentarium. All we need is trust for you to be bound by honor to us. He said, we will not look different on you because you are not of our kind. All you have to do is pledge your fealty.
Yeah, and what does that entail?
A few questions, honest answers. He said, now, based on your actions a month ago on the way to Waterdeep, we have no reason to trust you. You must give us one.
And how exactly can I prove trust between us?
Kill the paladin.
Kill the paladin.
A sworn enemy of Tiamat. When the time comes, he said, show your honor to us. Bring it into all of them. We promise you your lover will be protected.
So no harm will come to her who's dead.
He looks at Resmir. She doesn't say anything. He looks back at you and he says, "You have my honor that nothing will come to her."
Well, I guess I don't have very many options, do
You have all the options in the world, tells you, but you have been the easiest to deal with.
I? Well, like I said, I don't really personally have anything against you guys.
He said, "Then why be against us at all? Why not join us?"
Okay, so killing the paladin, I understand. He's a dick. But were you able to talk to the other two?
We have.
Okay.
Roll me. Sense motive.
Oh, that is me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the new skills are. What are they?
Would it be perception?
Insight.
Insight? Okay.
That's what it is now. I'm still stuck in my 3.5 Pathfinder ways.
So 8. I believe it.
You believe everybody says. He's a half blue dragon with a silver tongue.
So yeah, okay. So basically you're offering me to join you guys, become a cultist, and the Zentarum will not be a problem for me to deal with?
He said, "No one will be a problem for you to deal with. Not the Order of the Gauntlet, not the Harpers, not the Emerald Enclave, none." He says, "You don't have to be at the bottom of the ranks. You can rise up. Obviously you have potential. You seem to be making the right decisions here." He said, "You can be like me, become a word speaker, become like her, earn the respect of dragons, be equal to them."
That
He
sounds
tells you-
pretty awesome.
If a dwarf can do such a thing, surely a lovely elf as yourself can do so.
A dwarf.
He kinda spits on the ground. "Yes, there is a dwarf that is a word speaker." And you kinda look over Resmir and she has a very distasteful look on her face as well.
So I take it you guys don't like dwarfs?
He said, an unruly bunch. Though not so much like his kin. We, not the most wisest of choice for a worm speaker, but he has earned his position. But in due time, he kind of looks at Resmir and they both smile. He won't have it.
Okay, so do you want me to kill a paladin now or later?
He said, "When the time's right." He said, "What will you do with the others?"
I think the others can be talked into joining as well.
Mm.
The paladin won't, but
And if not?
then at least I can say I tried.
He said, "Well, let's move on. says, who are your allies? Who's against this? Where are they located at?
A lot of people are against you.
He said, they will fall, I promise you.
Even the mighty dragon cloth is against you.
And he kind of snarls. You see lightning flicker around his eyes, and you can tell that just mentioning his name angers Resimir.
No, just be like, I didn't mean to offend you. Just letting you know. Of course, Waterdeep, the Harpers, the Emerald Enclave.
He said, who in Waterdeep opposes us?
As far as I know, the Harpers. The Council of the Lord's Council,
Lord's Alliance.
Lord's Alliance, they're just mainly concerned with the Giants. My friends try to tell them that you guys are a bigger threat, but they didn't listen. So, right now, they're not on you.
Well, then they are fools.
And that's what, you know, I mean, dragons are more powerful than giants any day of the week, so.
He smiles.
I mean, yeah, they would be foolish to believe that dragons weren't a bigger threat than giants.
He says, are there any others?
I mean, you have the Gauntlet. They're against you.
He, yes, the Paladin. Half-breed bastard.
You know, I almost would think that who isn't against you would be an easier answer. And that, I don't know.
He said, do tell.
I mean, as far as people that haven't had a power play, I don't know. It seems like everybody that we've talked to is against you guys.
Okay, so, are you being honest about all this?
I mean, as far as I know, I am, right?
No, I mean, are you? Like,
Yeah.
are you going to join these guys?
Huh?
Is this part of your plan, you're going to join them? If the time comes, you're going to stop Greensill Company from doing what they need to do?
I'm just playing it by ear right now.
So, I mean, I need to know if you're gonna have to roll deceptions here or not.
I mean,
That's
right
what I'm
now,
asking. Like, right now, are you like, man, yeah, I think I might join these guys?
I mean, yeah, because right now, let's say if I don't, I'll die.
Okay, so
I'm going Han Solo with this.
are you saying you're a little scared then?
Well, I'm not scared, but I don't mind dying, but Vesperr doesn't want to die before she gets her revenge on the Centaurum.
So are you saying that you would actually take the raid
Yeah.
over Greensill Company?
Not necessarily, but
Because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for when the time you're basically about to be a spy, an assassin for them, and they're wanting you to go, not let them know, and when the time comes to strike, that you're going to, then you have to kill the paladin. Think about it. It's a lot.
it is. But they said Augustio wouldn't be hurt. And I believed it.
Well, I mean, he keeps speaking of honor.
Yeah, but as a player, I don't trust him.
But you're not
Vesperr.
But you're not the
Vesperr
bearded
doesn't
wonder here.
trust him.
What does a Vesperr think?
Vesperr seems to trust him. She can't tell if they're lying or
Well,
not.
think about what they've done so far. Think about what you've had to put up with on that caravan, dude. It's just them. Would you think it's been more difficult than dealing with the giants, dealing with the Lord's Alliance the one time that you met them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know they're powerful.
They are powerful.
I know they could help me
Mm-hmm.
if they're being honest.
Well, if
believes
you
him,
want to roll
so-
something, roll it inside.
Okay. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
You don't feel any intent for him to lie.
Okay.
He asked, What of the giants? What do you know of them?
The Allfather broke the ordning, basically to shake the giants up, to deal with Tiamat. So I guess you could say the giants are against you too. But they don't know it yet. They're fighting amongst themselves. But the Allfather wants them to band together to destroy you.
He said, so, with your experience, how many giants have you dealt with on your way here?
Bunch of hill giants.
He said, they're far worse than dwarves.
We killed a bunch of them.
He said, so see, you've already done us a favor.
Stone giants are causing a lot of ruckus.
He said, yes, the ones to the north.
Mm-hmm.
He said, because there are two of them here.
But other than that, well, we did meet a cloud giant, but he just gave us a ride. He wasn't taking sides, all about some fate, like destiny kind of thing.
Interesting. Would you elaborate?
At Nightstone. We were at Nightstone and woke up the next day and these stairs, the matte clouds were heading up into the sky, so we went to investigate. Some people couldn't touch them, they weren't solid for them, but for us they were solid.
He looks at you curiously, and he looks over to Resmir, and she looks a little bit at odds, like she's unsure. And then again, they start speaking in this sharp tongue, and she moves to where the door is, and it slides open, and she leaves, and the eyes close. He said, "Interesting." And he didn't mention anything about dragons, Tiamat,
No, he
the
wouldn't.
ordning being broken.
He wouldn't. No. He was very cryptic about everything. Just destiny and fate, and that he would give us one ride to anywhere we needed to go. He's very cryptic. Didn't have supper with us or anything, just kind of left us there on the base of his cloud and his tower.
Rude.
He wasn't rude, but very cryptic. He was nice enough.
Tells you, you know you have seen the Oracle. What did the Oracle tell you?
Well, exactly what I said, that the ordning had been broken because the Allfather wanted to get his children ready to face Tiamat.
How did you find the Oracle?
With the help of Harshnag.
Who's this Harshnag?
He is a frost giant.
And he helped you small folk.
Yeah, he's actually a pretty nice guy.
Where is he now?
That I don't know. He's looking for King Hinkington. But he had a teleportation shell, and when he blew into it, he teleported. Don't know where it led to.
Where did you come across this shell?
Hill giants had it.
And they know how to use the shell.
I doubt it. Hill giants are kind of stupid.
He tells you, of all the giants you met, who opposes us? When he does this, he motions to you and to him. You can obviously tell he believes that you're siding with him.
As far as I can tell, Harshnag didn't like the idea of the cult of the dragons, but right now the giants are too busy fighting amongst themselves, trying to become the top of the ordning. At least as far as I can tell.
Do you plan on meeting any more of these giants? Is there any chance you will meet this Harshnag or this cloud giant you had spoke of? Maybe these hill giants?
I don't know.
He said, based on our conversation, what would you do? And he kind of smiles widely at you.
Well, we've been killing giants this long. I mean, you and giants don't get along, do you?
He says, I've never had an issue with a giant. I do count a giant here as an ally. He says, he looks at his hands, and you've seen this on the caravan just a couple times, and you never caught on until now. He does this to you, and he spreads his fingers out. He says, what would you do for your queen? And it dawns upon you that his fingers are the 5 heads of Tiamat.
Well, if what you say is true, then I will be able to defeat the Xantaro with no problem. Or anybody, as you put it. Then I would not have a problem doing her bidding.
Very well. He tells you, is there anything you can tell us about your allies? Anything to thwart their plans? What was your plan to come here? What were you set out to do?
Honestly, we were just here to avenge Magofkus' son.
I was unaware he had a child.
He killed him, and one of my friends had talked to the ghost of his son, and his father had killed him when he found out that there was no part for him in the Ordning, and for him to be at peace, he requested that we avenge his death.
He tells you, I can promise you, Lagofkus is not concerned about the Ordning. He has thrown himself in with Tiamat. He knows the giant gods have turned their back on him. He said, he has done the right thing. My friend, you are doing the right thing. He said, where do you plan on going after this? When we release you of your bonds? Where can you go to find the best information? Where can we send you?
Perhaps to to be honest, the Harpers have a real hard on for you.
I'd imagine that. About this time, the eye slides open, Resmir walks back in, and she stands behind Sionrath. And he says, do you know, are there any known Harpers to you?
One.
Who?
Leosin.
Who is this Leosin?
He's a martial artist out at Waterdeep. That's where he was last time I saw him.
A warrior.
Yes.
Maybe I should seek this warrior out and test his skills.
Yeah, this is when I realized that maybe they don't know the lessons. So he might not have been trained.
He tells you, do you believe he poses a threat to us?
Yeah, I'd say so.
He says, if we were to send you to Waterdeep, could you take Leosin out on your own?
Perhaps, but he's not gonna trip. See, he also has a lover in the party.
Do tell.
And if she were to go back, we could probably lure him out somewhere and you could take him for questioning. Because he would know much more than I, as far as Harpers go. Since I myself am not a Harper.
Do you know what he looks like?
I'll describe him.
He's an elf.
He's an elf, half elf, yeah.
Okay.
Hard bald head, I don't know.
He said, he tells you, he said, so we have an agreement then. When the time comes, anytime the return of our queen is threatened, when you feel that that time is right, you are to put a stop to it. Make sure the paladin's dead. And if all else, the other two go as well.
Yeah. I need to make it. Need to make an exception around that.
Got two of them here.
That's not good. That's 13 plus minus 1, so 12.
Well, I rolled a 1 on him and a 4 on her. So they believe you. So he says, then what of your lover when this happens? Will she take your side?
I hope so.
He said, well, you'll have a chance to tell her. And the door opens up and two ogres push her to the door. And she's got furs. Anything you need to keep yourself warm in here. They slide a crate of food into you and a cot. And her bustier runs up to you, even though you're bound. As soon as she puts her arms on you, Resimir, she waves her hands, and your binds come free. And he says, I assure you, we will speak again soon. And they both leave.
Well, embrace Borgustian.
She is unscathed. She is very ecstatic to see you. She's crying. And she asks you, what do they want with us? Now, what are you going to tell her?
I'm gonna say they want us to join them.
And you told them, she's looking at you kind of skeptically now, because you've been talking about cloth. And here you are, captive by some dragon people for all she knows. And she has seen huge dragons before.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way I can convey this without saying it to her.
We're trying to lie to her.
No. trying to get the point that what I'm saying is a lie.
Without saying it.
Yeah.
Alright.
So it's like, I said we would join them. Maybe kind of move my eye down and bring them back up.
You tried to give her an idea that, you know, you had to lie to get her back.
Yeah.
Alright. She doesn't say anything. She just looks at you and she just slowly nods her head.
I'm gonna be like, they want the paladin to die.
Why?
Because Torm and Tiamat are ancient enemies, apparently. Or at least recent enemies.
Bahamut, or a triad.
Yeah.
That means nothing to her. Like, she doesn't know about these gods or anything. She says, well, what about the others?
Try to save them if we can.
She said, how are we gonna do that?